Hi, and welcome to The Real Deal on thestir.com. I am Alex McCord, your host, and I am broadcasting to you from Paradise, aka Australia. Yes, I am still here, and while you were watching the Golden Globes last night, I connected to the Real Housewives of Atlanta via Skype. And I have all the gossip for you about Atlanta, Beverly Hills, and New York. Can you believe the demotion of the Countess? Let's get started. First, in Atlanta, let's discuss these two recurring cast members we're seeing, Mynique and Mallory. Whom do you like better? This season, we're seeing a lot of Mynique, the wife of Phaedra and Nene's ex-high school mate, and Cynthia Bailey's sister, Mallory. I think both ladies are being tried out as housewives because Mynique went on the girls' trip, and Mallory is all over the place. Although Savannah did not require a plane ticket, and although they rented out a whole house, so it didn't really matter how many ladies stayed in it, anytime a non-housewife is sent away on a girls' trip, that is a financial commitment on the part of the producers and the network. No accident. And as far as Mallory goes, this week every housewife was asked the question, what do you think of Mallory? Now, I think between the two, Mallory has a better chance. Why? She came straight in with drama. I mean, even if it was contrived, and I don't believe for a minute that Peter and Cynthia didn't know and pre-approve Mallory showing up, but the whole idea that a family member would show up uninvited and announce that she's staying with you for 2 months, moving in, that's crazy. And then Mallory had the cojones to berate Peter for not being more welcoming and then to ask him about his sex life with her sister. Come on, you gotta pay that. Meanwhile, the only thing that Mynique has going for her is that she's married to a jerk, who, according to the head doctor, Phaedra, has a small cocktail sausage down below. Ouch. Speaking of blatant storyline grabs, let's talk about Porsha Stewart. I have to agree with Kenya Moore. Porsha is milking her divorce for all it's worth. However, more on Kenya later. Now, it's rare that good legal advice happens on television because usually you have to be so careful about what you say that it's impossible to go deep and actually address anything real. However, Porsha's divorce lawyer brought up a great point. Porsha looks successful. Now, she looks successful because she's acting successful, just like about 85% of all the housewives around the country. On all reality TV, but particularly the housewives that specialize in status and wealth, some cast members front. It's like Kim Kardashian admitted to a reporter on a red carpet, you fake it till you make it. The reason Phaedra and all the other Atlanta housewives are making fun of Porsha's new 8,000 square foot house is that they are terrified for her. Even I am. I seriously hope she inked a sweetheart deal and is borrowing that house to film in for 2 months and then throwing it back. This lifestyle is a problem for 2 reasons. Either Porsha will get in over her head financially and go under, or be tempted to go to the dark side, get charged with fraud and wind up in federal court. Or, like the lawyer said, she'll get nothing from her divorce because she looks like a multi-million-dollar reality TV star. The lawyer, just like most normal people who do not star on reality TV shows, thinks that because Porsha is a housewife and looks camera ready at all times, she must be rolling in dough. It's a common mistake to make. Did you notice that Mr. Attorney once said, let's get you some money to pay us, leave you with a little something? Right, so he understands that she's probably not rolling in dough. Clearly, he knows the real deal as well. Which brings us back to Kenya Moore. Kenya also has some potential fronting issues with that brand new Bentley, but at least she explained it away by saying that her boyfriend bought it for her. Perhaps Cynthia Bailey was right when she said that Kenya must have made a lot of money selling booty DVDs. But the snark about Kenya is a lot more vicious than Porsha, did you notice? Which brings up my next point. Kenya is trying to be the Greek chorus, but it is an uphill battle. She's trying to be the Greek chorus just like these crickets I have here. You can't be the Greek chorus if you're not likable. She's trying to be a Bethany Frankel. She's trying to be a Brandi Glanville, but it's not going to work unless people like her. And I don't just mean the fans. I mean the housewives. It is not enough. I have direct experience with this. It is not enough for the people watching TV to like you and root for you. You have to have a majority of the cast members like you and root for you as well, or else you will always be a perpetual punching bag. Now, how many times did Kenya hit the nail on the head this episode? Nene Leakes' ego is bigger than Kandi Burruss' play. Or, the bank doesn't accept checks written in crayon, Porsha Stewart. Kenya's one-liners are just as good as Phaedra's, but nobody likes her. Kenya either has to go further into Omarosa land and start a war, or she's got to make some friends. Did I mention wars? Well, there's certainly one going on in Beverly Hills. Well, two, actually, but I can't decide which is bigger, so help me out. War number one is Brandi Glanville versus Joyce Giraud. Brandi continues to be drunk and gross, and she needs to bookmark thesaurus.com so she can come up with some synonyms for the F word. Midway through Disaster at Soar Part 2, Brandi starts crying and blaming all her bad behavior on the fact that she lost her dog. Now, I understand and I agree that the loss of a pet can be a heartbreaking, life-changing event. However, that would only be an excuse that's valid if her behavior started after the dog was lost. It started way before, so sorry, that excuse is no good. So, is Brandi versus Joyce the worst war? Because war number two that I see is Joyce versus the fans and the network, trying to be more than a one-season wonder. Joyce is giving this her best shot, but I see a few telltale signs that smack of a plea for attention. Number one, she's milking this fight with Brandi because it's her only story point. She keeps saying that she'll never bring it up ever again, but she keeps talking about it over and over again. She's beating that truly dead horse. Number two, her fashion and her hair. That hair flipping thing could be a nervous tick, but the dress she wore to Kyle's fashion show, that is, please look at me, please pull focus. Isn't it a confusing outfit? Well, yes it was, but did it work? Because see, here's the thing, there are two newbies, Joyce and Carlton seems comfortable. She seems like she's locked in. Joyce, I don't know. You tell me. And New York. The Countess LuAnn De Lesseps is no longer a housewife. She has been demoted. Can you believe it? Well, I thought something was up last Fashion Week when she broke away from the cameras and came running up to me for kisses and conversation, because normally, that doesn't happen. This week, Bravo announced that while LuAnn is returning for season 6, it's only in a supporting role as a friend of the Housewives. Now, I remember back in seasons 2, 3, etc., we used to be threatened with the apple all the time. Do that and you won't get to hold the apple, or if you don't do that, no apple for you. It really was like second grade, and it's now happened to LuAnn. Now, here's what I'm guessing happened. You might remember that LuAnn broke up with Jacques, and the story broke right after they finished filming this upcoming season. I heard through the grapevine that Bravo were horrified because they thought that the footage would all be unusable. I mean, apparently Jacques was in every scene, I don't know. The reason that I feel bad for her, and I do, is that she didn't get to make the decision. It seemed like she filmed the entire season and found out after the fact. Now, back in season 5, when they approached me about doing drop-in appearances, I said no, because deep down I felt that I would be doing the same amount of work, spending the same amount of time for less money and credit. I got to make that decision. I got to say no. I feel bad for LuAnn because she didn't get to. She did a whole season thinking she'd be a housewife, and then, oops, no apple for you. In any event, they've got some new blood this season, so tell me, are you excited to see New York come back in March, or are them apples already boring? Tell me, let me know what you thought in the comments. Of the Atlanta newbies, do you like Mallory or Monique? And what about Beverly Hills Joyce? And what about LuAnn? Ay! For now, I am Alex McCord. You are watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. When I come back next week, I'll be back in snowy New York. But for now, I'm going to the beach.